Yeah, it's a pretty nice day in the neighborhood. I just thought maybe we could use a little bit more rain. Yeah, I know. He said tongue in cheek. Yeah, sorry. Sarcasm is the cheapest form of humor. Hi. Uh, Man, have we had enough water over the last little while? I'll bet your grass is green. Welcome to Season 7, Episode 13 of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. We are brought to you by Grantham Home Hardware. Also, we have a brand new sponsor this week, Ready Bins Niagara, and we're going to be talking to you a lot more about that over the course of the rest of the show. Verge Insurance, also our stalwart sponsor located over here on Ontario Street. Talk to you more about those as well. Powered by WeeStreem, Canada's premier streaming service. These are your specialities. First day with the new mouth. 75% wings, $10 poutine, $9 doubles, $18 PBR pitchers, and on it goes. We are here at the lovely Fiddler's Poorhouse, 149 St. Paul Street in downtown St. Catharines. And we hear every day, every week, every minute just about scams and things that are really funky that are going on the internet and in social media. Well, I have to tell you, we have a really interesting story along that vein coming up to kick off the program today. Our executive producer and co-founder of WeeStreem and the guy that put this whole brain trust together had an interesting experience this week trying to line up a guest for this program, and he's a very popular guest, a very famous guest. You'll probably recognize him when we talk about his name and the name of his show. And to show you how deep the scams go these days, this is a prime example of what happens even with people that know what they're doing, like Kevin Jack, our executive producer. I mean, he knows what's going on in the world, and we almost got taken down for a free boat down the river without a paddle. And anyway, that story and others coming up in about 30 seconds. Hope you can stick around. Come on in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in, as I mentioned, to on this May 27th, Season 7, Episode 13 of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. Finally, we have a little bit of the weather that we have been praying for, hoping for, waiting for over the last, oh my gosh, a number of weeks. Can you believe that rain? Holy moly. My condolences go out to golf course operators all over Niagara because so many of them had to close. It's just been, and other people that rely on some reasonably nice summer-like weather to kick off the growing seasons and stuff. Man, it's been unbelievably brutal. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we're on the flip side of that coin. And, in a few weeks, we're probably going to be ruining the fact that we don't have any rain, because I don't know if you've been listening to or watching or reading articles or whatever about the so-called Super El Nino that may be heading our way. Well, we could be ending up for hotter than normal, drier than normal conditions as summer progresses upon us over the course of this year. So it's going to be kind of a wacky 2026, I think. But welcome to the program. Glad to have you around here. At least we have some warm weather. And I realize you're going to want to get outside, but hopefully you can spend a few of your minutes here with us at Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. Now, here's the story, and I'm going to bring in our executive producer, co-founder of WeeStreem, founder of this here programming, Kevin Jack, because it was Kevin is the source of this actual story. Now, just to give you a bit of a peek behind the curtain. Hi, Kevin. By the way, glad to have you here.
Hey, good day, Lee.
Is a bit of a backgrounder and a peek behind the curtain, as I said, about this show, is Kevin and I we kind of like each other a little bit. So we talk every now and then over the course of the 2 weeks between the programs, kind of thinking about what are we going to do, what are we going to, and we sort of leave things open because it is a live show and you never know what's going to happen that all of a sudden changes your plans. So we don't really nail things down so rigidly that, well, this is the show and this is, so, in the pursuit of an interesting guest, Kevin was trying to locate Johnny Harris. Now, Johnny Harris, you may remember and recognize the name. He is the host of Still Standing. He's a Canadian comic, and he travels around the country, and he does bits and pieces from different communities. And it's kind of a funny stand-up thing, but it's also a historical thing and an info thing on the communities that he visits. Well, he happened to be in Port Colborne this week. And so now, that was the connection, because this show is all about Niagara, as we've talked about. So here's a guy that does a very popular show over the CBC network, and a lot of people love this program, including Kevin. And I've watched a bit of it, and this guy is good at what he does. So Kevin says this would be a good get because he's here in Port Colborne. He's doing a thing in Niagara. So Kevin, you take it away. You tell us the story.
Well, that's exactly it. So this is the first post that I saw this week from the Pie Guys Bakery and Cafe in Port Colborne. Hey, folks, watch for the Pie Guys on the upcoming season of CBC Still Standing with Johnny Harris.
Because okay, go ahead.
And there's a great photo of the owners with Johnny right in the middle. So I absolutely love the show Still Standing. My wife and I have watched, I think, all 11 seasons.
Hundreds of thousands of people do.
And, of course, I went, OMG, Johnny Harris is filming right now in Port Colborne. I would love to get him on the show. It'd be tremendous.
Awesome.
Not only to help promote the fact that there's going to be an episode, I guess, in the 12th season on Port Colborne, but all of the shows culminate with him doing a local stand-up show at a local theater. So I thought, okay, cool, we can help promote that. Maybe we need to put butts in seats on Friday or whatever he plans on filming this.
Right.
So I thought it was really cool, and it is going to be really cool. Lee, maybe as a backgrounder here, I know you said Johnny goes around, right? So here's his show as you talked about, Still Standing.
He travels all over the country.
Travels all over the country, and the idea is that he goes to small towns.
Yeah.
Small town Canada, some that you've only heard of, maybe, one intersection, and really interviews the soul of the community. Starts to understand what makes this community click, and in so many cases across Canada, it is, this city, this town was founded on manufacturing or mining.
And it's not like a documentary. It's a light-hearted, kind of fun view of these communities. And
that's what I love about it, is that I get a little bit of insight into some of these small towns like Elliott Lake, Ontario, and what makes Elliott Lake click without having to watch a boring TVO documentary.
Yeah.
It's a really fun, light-hearted way to introduce yourself to these communities.
It's a great concept. He's doing very well.
So, okay, fine. So now back to the scam. I guess we could call this scam tracking Johnny Harris. Okay. So there's Johnny. Right? So all I did was I went into the comments. Okay, look, he's got 94 shares, 1.4 thousand people responded to this, and 143 comments. And there's my comment. Is he filming in Port right now? Love that show. Really what I was trying to do was verify that he's filming now, and he's going to be spending 4 or 5 days in Port Colborne.
Yeah, so this is you assuming that this is a legit post. This is going on.
And it is a very legit post.
Yeah.
And then much to my surprise, Lee, I woke up the next day, didn't get a response here, and still don't have a response, but saw that. Look at that. 2 people liked it. And look at one of the people that liked it was Johnny Harris.
Yeah.
Johnny Harris
himself liked Kevin Jack's post.
Like my post. So
wow.
I click on Johnny Harris and go over here, and here's his account. Okay, that's Johnny Harris. 1.6 thousand likes. Comedian, actor, road warrior, lists himself as a public figure.
Makes sense.
Okay, you kind of go down here. Oh, there's a post from the show from just 10 hours ago.
Yeah, makes sense.
There's another post to him promoting the show. Here we are. Okay, all of this stuff checks out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to reach out to Johnny Harris.
So bonus, we have a contact.
Right, and just so you know, I had already reached out to the production company that makes it. I think they're called Frantic Films.
Yeah.
So I did my research. I went through the proper channels to try and see if we can get Johnny Harris on the show. Tracking down Johnny Harris.
You're doing due diligence. You're going through all the right channels.
All the right channels. So I emailed Frantic Films and still to this day have not received a response.
Of course not.
I called them, was going to leave a message, but their mailbox is full. So I'm trying here. I'm trying as best I can. Okay, well, I'm gonna message. Okay, well, thank you for that. So here you go. Here's my message with Johnny Harris. There he is right there. Public figure, 1.6 thousand people.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. So, I don't know, do you want me to read this, Lee, or?
What? This was Kevin's post.
Right.
So he thinks, okay, we've made contact with Johnny and his entourage and his people, which you can assume there's a pretty extensive bunch. Of course, it's the CBC, so maybe not. Maybe there's him and another guy. Who knows? Him and the cameraman. So Kevin says, Johnny, love still standing. I produce a podcast here in Niagara, that's us, and want to get you on my show to promote your show. I emailed Frantic Films to go through the proper channels this Wednesday. 10 minutes via Zoom, 12 to 1:30 window. We're doing this right now. I'm a former CKTB talk show host, as am I, and my host is a 40-year-old, I wish I was 40 years old, 40-year radio vet. Actually, he's 50, but that's okay. Enjoy Niagara.
Okay.
So that was the note that Kevin says to this guy that he thinks is Johnny Harris.
I assume it's Johnny Harris.
Who wouldn't assume? And so then he puts a link up so that
last episode.
The assumed Johnny can look at the last episode and see what it is we do. And that was a link to the episode we did.
So this is Monday at 5:30.
Yeah, so you pick it up now.
And then look at that. 2 hours later, I'm getting a reply from Johnny Harris.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so thanks so much for the kind words. Really appreciate you watching Still Standing. Niagara is always a great stop. Okay. This is my management email. Reach out now so you can get things planned and scheduled. And then he sends the email. All right. And it sounds like you and your host have some great radio stories between you both. Should be a fun chat. Enjoy the rest of your week. That was them to us.
Right. Oh, my gosh. Look at this. Johnny's very responsive. Now,
that's cool.
Don't kid me. I understand that I might not be communicating directly with Johnny, but I'm communicating
with his people.
Right, with his people that are in direct contact with him. Okay, this is terrific. Right, I'm getting closer and closer to Johnny.
So we're closer to the decision makers than we were before. Right. So Kevin says, he sends the thumbs up and says, we'll reach out via email tomorrow morning. Then the Johnny Harris thing says, okay, good morning, Jack. Okay, now here's the first.
That was my first sign.
Here is the first sign that there's something not exactly kosher because, with all due respect, some other cultures get first names and last names twisted, if you understand what I mean. So, good morning, Jack. Not Kevin, not Mr. Jack, but good morning, Jack. Have you reached out to my team yet? All right, so then Kevin responds, you see. As
I had reached out to the team. So here's the email that I received from the team. Hi, Kevin. Thank you for reaching out and for the continued support is still standing over the years. Johnny truly appreciates it. We'd be happy to explore coordinating a live Zoom interview at Niagara 411 live while Johnny is in the region filming. Please note that promotional media appearances are arranged through management and are subject to an appearance fee. For a live 10-minute interview segment, the current promotional appearance rate is $1,500 Canadian.
And that's where they set the hook.
If this aligns with your production budget, we'd be happy to continue coordinating schedule details with your team. Thanks again, and we look forward to hearing from you. Best regards, Johnny Harris, manager.
So now Kevin's reaction is, hey, this guy's a entertainment professional. We are entertainment professionals, and usually when you offer an interview to somebody, people are either going to have an opportunity to say yes because they're available or no because they're not available. But very, very rarely, if you offer somebody a chance to promote what they do for a living, that they charge you money to do them a favor.
Right, but it does happen.
It does happen.
Once you reach a certain level of celebrity, you start charging for appearances. So
I know. It's like the Comic-Cons. But still.
I didn't know Johnny Harris was at the $1,500 for 10-minute interview level.
Right.
Maybe he is. So now we flip back to my Facebook conversation.
Okay. So says, I did. They responded and said it's $1,500 to have you on our show, which is a little outside our budget. LOL. A lot outside our budget. Ha ha. Because we pay nothing for interviews. For two reasons. A, that's pretentious. And B, we don't want to be perceived as buying content because that's not objective media. Okay? So if you want to waive it, we'd love to have you on. Enjoy Niagara. There's some great weather for showcasing port. There it is. So then there's a response. I completely understand it. I truly appreciate you reaching out. Now, this is from Johnny's group, ostensibly, to us, right? I completely understand and I truly appreciate you reaching out. Maybe have another chat with my team and see if there's any flexibility to bring the fee down a bit so we can make it work for everyone. I genuinely love to be part of the show if we can find a middle ground. Well, there is no middle ground for us. So Kevin responds.
Here, Lee, just so you know, I'm holding the red flag.
Yeah,
like that,
so
I'm
we
like,
know right now there's something going on.
I'm red flagging this conversation here. You went from $1,500 to negotiate with my team really quickly.
This is not professional.
No, if you're going to
it's either $1,500 or we're not doing it.
Exactly.
That's professional.
This seems strange.
So, sorry, says Kevin. While we generate revenue through sponsorship, we'd be losing money even if we found middle ground. Would love to, but can't pay for our guests, unfortunately. When is the final concert/show, and how can we attend? Thanks.
So at the end of the show, at the end of his filming, if he's there for 5 days, on the 5th day, he does a stand-up show in the local theater.
Yes.
Not sure where it's going to be in Port. Maybe in the high school, beautiful theater there, what have you.
They have a nice concert hall there, too.
But that's what I'm asking about is, hey, when is that final show? Because even if he's not coming on the show, I would love to go down and just see Johnny perform because I love the show so much. So anyway, continue. Leave it to response.
So he said, Johnny says I'm still in Port. So then Kevin goes back. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, wondering when you're filming the stand-up portion of the show and if we can attend the taping. Enjoy Port. It's a great city. All right. So now we go back, and here come the pretenders again. Here come the flags. I have already talked to my team. Message them. Tell them you already concluded with Johnny. Send my team 500 Canadian dollars. I already spoke to them about you and also with the taping. Okay, so now they backed off by $1,000.
Yeah, that was quick.
They've lowered Johnny's benchmark of appearance now $1,000 less. So, Kevin says this convo, meaning conversation, is getting a little strange, to be honest. I'm not sure what is going on. If I can attend the taping, I'd love to. Appreciate the communication, but unsure where it's headed. Love the show. So now, I can tell by that note, because I know Kevin well enough personally, I know by that note that he continues to cast the bait.
Yeah, a little bit. What's going on here, guys? And also, okay, if you are connected, which I'm 95% sure at this point that this is just a total scam.
Yeah, this is not going to happen.
On the 5% that it is, I'm still going to be professional and polite and say, hey, guys, I don't know where this is going. Maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but I'm pretty sure this is a scam. But, just so I can hold my head up high and share emails like this in the public and say, look, I didn't do anything wrong.
So Kevin's gone fishing now because he knows nothing's going to come of this. And then their response is, we'll send you a live location.
What
now,
is that?
In the scheme of this show, still standing, that is a non sequitur. That is a nothing. That means nothing. It is nothing. There's no such thing as a live location. It's a nothing.
Well, there is. You could send somebody a live location, but I don't even know what it means.
But a live location for what?
In this context. Yeah, why are you going to send me your live? Like, I would send you a live location, Lee, if I was traveling up to your cottage. I could send you my live location so you know when I'm going to arrive.
So what it boils...
This makes no sense.
What it boils down to is the fact that Port Colborne is being recognized. Way to go, Port. On the show, we don't know when it's going to air. As Kevin says, probably sometime next year. Who knows how many of these shows we have in the can. That's cool entertainment talk for Saved. We have no idea how many shows are going to be on before they get to Port Colborne. But at Port Colborne, at least that you're going to be featured on this program. And we would love to be able to send this segment that we're doing right now to the real Johnny Harris and the real Still Standing production team to see what they think of it. And the by and large of this, too, if you extrapolate this and you stretch this concept out over a thought process, as Kevin and I were talking before we came on the air today, these scammers are sitting somewhere waiting for a flag like they got when Kevin responded to that original post. Somebody else got that link. Somebody else clued into that, and it went to another server or another bunch or another group of people or another link that said, hey, here's a potential mark for our entertainment scam. And then the conversation begins. And so how many people, how many celebrities would this group, would this scamming organization have online to be able to make this worthwhile, their investment of doing this internet thing? Like, they got Johnny Harris, they got how many others, how many entertainers, how many other celebrities do they have fake Facebook identities for that continue to feed them opportunities to scam people that are trying to get in touch with them? How many do they have to have there to make this a business? Has to be hundreds or more.
I would think they might have thousands.
Yeah. Now, so this is a massive algorithm that's going on here.
And what's crazy, Lee, if you look on your screen here, so on the right is the fake Johnny Harris account.
Yeah, that's the fake one.
On the left is what we assume is the real Johnny Harris account.
Is it that different? Not really.
No, in fact, the left one, the fake one, is more engaged. Look, here he is from a post from 11 hours ago, and what have you. And the real Johnny.
That's the right one on our screen.
The real Johnny hasn't posted since January 13th.
Yeah.
So you kind of look like this fake guy is putting in a lot of work.
On your screen, it's the right-hand one that is the fake one, and the real one that is on the left-hand side of my photo there.
Like, this is...
That's pretty good work, Kevin.
Absolutely.
That is high-level stuff. Johnny thought he was in F1. That's all fake. Now maybe it was a real cameo video of him, but they've included it on a fake site.
Yeah, I mean,
on the left-hand side, and frankly, I have to tell you, Johnny, the real site is much less interesting than the scam site.
Yeah. Now the only thing I may have been able to pick up on, Lee, is the fake guy only has 49 posts.
Well, there you go. 49 versus 1.8 thousand.
Right, and the real Johnny has 16,000 followers, where the fake Johnny has 1.6 thousand followers. But 1.6 thousand is not 16. It's not 160.
No.
To me, that's substantial.
But how many of those 1.6 thousand followers are they trying to get money from? God knows. Can you imagine if they got even a buck from one of them? Gee whiz.
Yeah, so all this to say that, anyway, Johnny Harris is in Port Colborne as we speak with the film crew filming for an upcoming season.
And who knows when it's going to be on.
Who knows when it's going to be on, exactly.
Thank you to the people that support. Thanks, Kevin, for putting this all together and sharing it with us, because it really is an eye-opener. And again, it goes to the kinds of stuff we've talked about before. When you're dealing with social media, please be so careful. Please make sure your children are so careful, and your parents and your grandparents and people that think and trust in that their sources are valid and they're real, but so often they're not. So please double, triple, quadruple, quintuple your sources for any and all of the information that comes to you across the internet, be it emails, be it Facebook, Instagram, X, doesn't matter what it is. Please be careful, because so much of this stuff is absolutely fabrication. Grantham Home Hardware, thank you very much for continuing to spend all of your time with us every couple of weeks here at Fiddler's Poorhouse to do Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. These days, marketing and promotions and advertising and media is a very complicated world, as we just talked about. And we really appreciate you putting your faith in us to be our primary sponsor here at Niagara 411 Live with Sterry, Jake, and Rob. It's a pleasure to deal with you all the time. And this is a great season for Niagara and for Grantham Home Hardware, because this is finally, hopefully, if we can just stave off this rain a little bit. Now, if you've fertilized your lawn and added a little bit of top dressing and stuff to have the seeds take over, like we did at our place, the rain's been kind of a good thing. So it's working okay for us in our front yard, but otherwise it's been just a deluge of water. But otherwise, other than that, now that we finally get some steamy weather coming and some sunshine, it is a time where we can finally start planning for a nice summer here in Niagara, and Home Hardware is a place to do it. They got barbecues, patio furniture and accessories, lawn and garden accessories, and home essentials, and paint and kitchen works, etc. They've got all kinds of stuff. Just check out their website. They got some fabulous prices. I was looking at the Adirondack chairs, some great prices on those, different levels of manufacturing, etc. All kinds of stuff. It's homehardware.ca and then Grantham. So check it out. Thank you, guys, for being here. Verge Insurance Group, as always, for your home and auto and life insurance and business insurance. Verge Insurance has been a business since 1953 here in Niagara. And I left the newest till last because we're just absolutely pleased as punch that we have a brand new sponsor on the program this week, and it's called Red E Bins Niagara. Red E Bins Niagara. If you want to check out their website, it's this, and I want to make sure that because they're new, I don't want to get it wrong. It's Red E Bins Niagara, REDE, like Red E Bins, BINS, Niagara.ca. Niagara's easiest bin and dumpster rentals, all-inclusive pricing, fast delivery, 4 seasons, all-weather service. Get $50 off your first order. Check them out on the website. The right size bin for any project, and personalized service as well, located here in Niagara. It's your situation unique, or do you have questions? You can call them anytime. All-inclusive low prices. Our bin rental fees include dumping fees, no hidden costs, and they can provide bins for whatever spaces you have. Anywhere you can park a small car, they can park a ready bin. All right, so it's readybinsniagara.ca, REDE, like Red E Bins Niagara, all one word, .ca. And thank you, guys. Thank you, Dave, McParian, and the gang for coming in here. It's nice to see that nice flash of red up on the screen. Adds just a little bit of color combination work there, Kevin. So it's just it's always wonderful to welcome a new sponsor to the program. And want to mention that if you have a company here in Niagara, you would like to reach Niagarans, by all means, this is your best vehicle within which to do that. We only get about what, Kevin? 2.2 or 2.3 million views a year? Gee whiz, would you like to reach 2.3 million views per year for your business? I think you might. And believe me, bargain basement prices, our rate per reach, our rate per person here in Niagara is the best media deal, bar none. I say that absolutely without reservation. It's the best media purchase deal in Niagara, no matter the media, be it social media, radio, TV, newspaper, whatever it is. We're the best buy in town for the amount of people that we reach. We reach close to 100,000 views every week.
Yeah, pretty much 100,000 per episode. And there, you do quick math, 26 episodes a year, 2.5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're regularly pushing out 2.5 million views a year, and like 98% of that is right here in Niagara. So if you're
what's
Niagara
the best way, if there's somebody out there who says, hey, I'd like a piece of that. I want a piece of you guys every time you come on the air. Because what you see is, those, every time there's a view, actually the 2.5 million views is a little bit of a misnomer, because that's just somebody that clicks on it to have a look, like once. Every time there's a click, it's a view. A click, it's a view. It's a click, it's a view. But when you're watching this, you see the logos. They're there They're there through the entire program. It's not just on a cycle like a video or like a Netflix thing or whatever. It's there the whole damn show. So, Kevin, what is the best way if somebody out there saying, "Hey, I would like a piece of that show"? How do they contact us?
Easiest way is just to drop a comment on any of the shows. You can just do it right now. You're watching on Facebook, so just put a comment in there, say, "Hey, want to get in touch with you guys," and I'll reply with your email. I could give out my email here, but who's going to remember that, right?
Yeah.
But just drop a comment, and we will get in touch with you. Now, Lee, we began the show talking about trying to track down a comedian that's in port right now, that's in Niagara, in Port Colborne, Johnny Harris.
Yeah.
And next on the program, we got a comedian that has a couple of shows coming up in Niagara.
We do indeed. His name is Eric Johnston. He's a comedian, he's an actor, he's an author. He is the head dude of a comedy hour called the Son of a Bull Comedy Hour. He's got a couple of shows coming up here in Niagara, one at the Creekside Winery, one in Niagara on the Lake at Jackson Trades. And is he in the green room waiting to come on? Oh, that's a big close-up. Eric Johnston, be that you?
That's me, sitting in a very hot car in Niagara on the Lake, actually.
Turn the air on, man.
I got the windows down. I
right.
knew if I turned my car on, I'd lose you guys, so here we are.
All right. Eric, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming on the program. How you doing today?
I'm good. You know what? It's my 3-year wedding anniversary, but for you, Lee, I'll be anywhere. So.
Wow. Wow. This is your third wedding anniversary?
Yes, actually yesterday. So we did a day in Niagara on the Lake. We stayed at Pillar and Post, and now we're walking around the shops in downtown Niagara on the Lake. And I said, I got to jump on a call at 12:30, and so here we are.
Okay, so before we find out what you're doing, let's find out who you are.
Sure.
Who is Eric Johnston? Where you come from? What do you do? What are you doing here? Why are we talking to you?
Yes, sir. I mean, why are you talking to me? Well, I guess we're going to find out. So I'm a stand-up comic, an actor, an author, an executive producer of a TV show on Bell 5 TV1 called Run with the Bull. I'm from Hamilton. I've been doing comedy for 15 years. I tour all over North America. I'm in my 6th national headlining tour right now. And 2 of those stops are coming to the Niagara area. So that's why you're talking to me here on the very popular Niagara 411. So I appreciate you having me on. But other than that, I'm a husband, a father, and just a dude. I'm just a guy figuring it out.
How old are you?
35.
35. How long have you been doing this?
I started when I was 20, so 15 years I've been a stand-up comic.
Tell me about, comedy, stand-up in particular. I mean, that's your primary thing, right? Yes,
sir.
You do stand-up, yeah. All right. We all know that is a very competitive world. It is it's a huge stage, or it can be a small stage, and from anywhere in between. And it's a big, big undertaking to try to do this because you're putting yourself out there. How did you get started? How did you overcome that? I think I've got something to say, and I think I can be funny, but I'm scared to death kind of moment when you got started doing this?
Well, I have a background different than most comedians. My father and grandfather were Canadian Hall of Fame professional wrestlers. So out of the Hamilton area, my father's name was Bullwhip Johnson. My grandfather was the original Bull, or the Mongol, in the 60s and the 70s.
Okay.
Hamilton, cool. Toronto, and all over North America as well. So I grew up in a very entertaining household. You know, there was always wrestlers coming by, and, referees, promoters, journeymen, Hamiltonians, criminals, all kinds of people were coming by the house.
Okay.
So I grew up in a very funny house of storytellers and just entertainers and stuff. So when I was a kid, I wanted to get into entertainment. So I started with dance and musical theater. Fast forward, I'm going to theater school. Fast forward again, I'm in film school. And when I was in film school, I signed up for my very first open mic on November 1st, 2010, and I have not stopped since.
Where was that first open mic?
It was in Vancouver. I was going to the Vancouver Film School, and I was in the basement of an old hotel called the Kingston. It was called Comedy in the Kingston, run by Johnny Scoop. And I did that, and I from there I was hooked. And I had the benefit of most comics, because a lot of comics are afraid to go on stage. I mean, the first 5 years of a comedian's career is trying to be comfortable being on stage.
Yeah.
I had already been an actor and a theater actor and a dancer my entire life at that point. So when they called my name, I was ready to get up there. Was I funny? Probably not. Did I have a lot of work to do? Yes. And I did it. And I stopped and I started from open mics and, recently performed at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles and the Laugh Factory in Chicago and theaters. And I'd go anywhere from small breweries to full-scale theaters. So I do it all. And you have to in Canadian comedy. You have to do it all.
It's a wonderful thing that you said there. For somebody that's been in the entertainment business for like 50 years or so, I recognize the fact that comfort factor is a big deal. Now, it's whether you're comfortable in front of the camera, whether you're comfortable behind a microphone, whether you're comfortable on a stage. It's all that same comfort zone. And I've seen so many novice comics and entertainers that have great material. They're very talented. They're very musical, or they're funny, or they're whatever. But that stage presence, that whatever you can call it, attitude or whatever it is, that stage presence is really what makes or breaks someone that's doing a live performance. Would you agree?
I would 100% agree. It's confidence, comfortability on stage, and when comics first start, they ask me for advice, and I go like, you know what, you've got some good stuff. I go, but you're going up there and you're asking the audience, do you think this is funny? You need to change in your mind, not ask them, do you think this is funny? You're going up there and telling them, guys, this is funny, and here is why. But I got by very in my early age of comedy. I got booked a lot because I was confident, and even when I did jokes that weren't very good, because I was trying to find my voice, as they say in comedy, find what you want to talk about, your style. Do I want to be a one-liner guy? Do I want to be a dirty comic? I landed on storytelling comedian, and once you find that voice, but even when I first started, it was like the audience was going, well, this isn't very funny, but God, this guy believes what he's saying. So I'm coming along with him.
You just ticked on something that I like to talk to comics about. And you mentioned you got to find your lane. Are you the storyteller? Are you the one-liner? Are you the vaudeville comic? Are you the dirty comic? And here's where I want to ask you a question. I have seen, and there have been many, many, many successful comics. Let me use the Wayans brothers as an example. You know the Wayans brothers. So I saw them at where was it? Oh yeah, I think it was the Avalon Theater at the casino in Niagara. And these guys are funny. This guy, they do stuff. They do stuff on TV and in shows and situation comedies and stuff. And there's nothing off color about what they do. But then when they do a live show, potty mouth central. And there's so many comics that do that. They're very, very funny. Richard Pryor was one. Eddie Murphy was another. These guys were naturally funny people. They didn't have to jump into the gutter to be funny. What is it about comics from media to the live stage, which takes them from being just plain out funny to being vulgar funny? What is that?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's the classic Bob Saget. May he rest in peace. Bob Saget was the family man. He was the guy from Full House, and he had the guy from America's Funniest Home Videos. He had this squeaky clean persona, and then when he got on stage, he was one of the dirtiest comics out there. And I always say, I'm not a clean comic, but I'm not a dirty comic. I describe my hour as Canadian clean. And when I say that, I mean, it's clean, but there's some swearing and there's some, it can dip its toe into vulgarity, but never, gregarious, never make people uncomfortable. I don't know the answer to your question. I think it's almost a shock laugh. They go, I can't believe the guy from that TV show is saying these things. Yeah. And I think they're trying to move away from being pigeonholed as this squeaky clean persona and get a little dirtier on stage. I don't know what the answer is. Everyone has their choice.
But it's a very common thing. But it's and some of the best most famous comic talents. Robin Williams is one, for example. Now he's a very special case. He was just a manic genius. But when he used profanity, it was in a specific case for a specific reason. People thought that he was just off the cuff, freewheeling, but not. He planned his bits. He knew what he was doing. And when he used an off-color perspective or a word or whatever, it was in a specific point for a specific reason, and it was funny. So anyway, I wanted to go there with you because I love having that conversation with comics, because it's just such a line that you have to travel depending on your audience. And I guess that's it, Eric, is the fact that you have to know your audience, right?
Sure. Now, listen, when I swear on stage, I usually swear in character, whether I'm playing a drunk guy at the bar, or I'm playing my Irish Catholic mother, or I'm playing whatever. I do a lot of character voices in my show. And it's funny, I'll swear through the entire hour, and people will come up to me and go, "You know why I loved your act? You didn't swear once." And I go, "Actually, I swore quite a bit, but I was never in my natural speaking voice. I was playing someone else, and it kind of removes you from that." So, yeah, it's an interesting subject. We could go on for hours.
Yeah, I know. But, we won't go on for hours, but now let's talk more about you.
Sure.
And I appreciate your perspective, I really do, because it's something that a lot of people never get a chance to, as I used this phrase before, peek behind the curtain and see how people really think about how they ply their craft. And we all have crafts. This is a craft. It's a talent. It's an art. It's a whatever. If you make it look simple, then you're making a difficult job look easy. And you can say, "Well, my job is done here. I've done my job." But now let's talk about Eric Johnston, comedian, actor, author, comedy hour host, etc. You got some shows coming up. Tell us about them.
Yes, sir. So I'm on the Eric Johnston Son of a Bull comedy tour right now. It started started on Valentine's Day in February, and it goes all the way to November. I've already had a couple Niagara stops. I've done Niagara Falls. I've done St. Catharines. Coming up, I've got Jordan Station at Creekside Winery. That's at the end of June. And towards the end of August, I'm actually at Jackson Triggs for my 5th show at Jackson Triggs. They keep calling me back, and it's a great audience there. And I think that's a testament to my style of comedy. If you could perform at some of these higher-end wineries, you can do something right and still make sure everyone has a really nice time. But yeah, I'm on tour across the country right now, mostly in Ontario for now because I have a small child at home. But you can find all the information for my tour at ericjohnstonwho.com or on my Instagram at ericjohnstonwho. And come to a show and enjoy yourselves. And I always say a comedy show is where you go to forget about the world. And there's a lot going on in the world right now that people need to forget about for 2 hours at a time.
Well, we'd like to try to forget about it. It's not all that easy. So the Creekside performance is June the 27th. And the Niagara-on-the-Lake Jackson Triggs performance is August the 20th. What do ticket prices run for your shows, Eric?
They're $30. I don't kill people out there. I know times are tough economically out there, and gas prices are going up. So $30 is the price. And the Creekside show is $40, but that includes a glass of wine when you come in.
Oh, well, the glass of wine itself is probably worth $30.
There you go, especially at some of these wineries. So I just went to a couple yesterday. I know how expensive they are. But yeah, so that's the deal. Come out and have a good time, and get it. It's a cheaper night out with a world-class comedy show. I've been doing it for 15 years across North America.
And Lee, I'm just going to interject here from the producer's chair and say we're sharing this beautiful reel now that you put together of you and your wife Jana, which is featuring a lot of the stuff from the wedding day. So before we let you go, get back there in the streets of Niagara-on-the-Lake. Enjoy yourselves, and congratulations on 3 years to you and Jana.
Yeah, congratulations.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Thank you.
How is it like a family of a comic that travels the country? Does she come along with you? You got a child now? How old's your youngin?
He's 17 months. His name is Jet. And they come to the good stuff. I had a sold-out show in the Cayman Islands a couple months ago, and they wanted to come to that, and I performed at the Banff Springs Hotel, and my wife came to that when she was pregnant with my son. They come to the good stuff. For some reason, my wife doesn't want to go to Sault Ste. Marie with me, and that's fine. But it's very situational, and some of the bigger shows they'll come to and support. And
I can see your wife saying, "Hey, baby, I'm coming to Cayman Islands."
Yeah. So that was a great show. We were the first. Jordan Armeniz and I, my opening act, we were the first ever Canadian comics to sell out a show in the Cayman Islands.
Eric Johnston, just an absolute pleasure chatting with you. I appreciate your perspective on all the other stuff we were talking about. Good luck with the shows. Good luck with the tour, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to chat again sometime.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on, and I'll see everybody at the shows.
Good luck. Go get some. Are you a golfer?
Yes, sir.
Is that why you got the raccoon eyes going?
No, that's because I spent the day at the wineries yesterday with no sunscreen on. That's
why. Okay.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah. All right. Thanks,
so much,
man.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
I remember when I was late teen. There is, ladies and gentlemen, Fiddler's Poorhouse. This is our multi-million-dollar set here at 149 St. Paul Street in downtown.
No, we had to pay Johnny Harris. So.
Oh yeah, we had to pay Johnny Harris.
Yeah, so the budget
somewhere between $500 and $1,500.
And look at that, Eric came on for free, just to promote his shows. But Johnny, the fake Johnny Harris, won the $1,500.
Yeah, let's not start a rumor.
You're right.
The fake
Johnny Harris.
Yeah. Must be careful about that. But I remember when I was in my teens, I was going to West Lane Secondary School in Niagara Falls, and we used to put on these things for the kids and the staff called hootenannies. And those of us that played music and sang and danced and did that stuff, we had different acts that we'd put on. And I was going to do my very, very first solo show at this hootenanny that was come up. I don't know, I guess I was 17 years old. Not quite 17, I guess. And I was so nervous that I skipped school that day. And I drove up and down the Niagara Parkway, just trying to. And I was listening to James Taylor and Neil Young and CCR and these songs that I was going to be singing. I was listening to the real guys do them, and just trying to calm my nerves and get. So then I ended up going home to my house in Black Creek, and I laid out in the backyard. It was a nice, hot, sunny day, and I fell asleep, and I had my sunglasses on. So I came out looking like Eric did there. I had this red, brown face and these white eyes, and then I went up that night and I did my 4 or 5 song set that I was supposed to do, just me and my guitar, and there was an article in the paper the next day calling me the sunburnt serenader. So that's that story, which is way too much information for you. Anyway, let's check out our sponsors again here. Grantham Home Hardware, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Jake and Rob over in the Grantham Plaza right there at the corner of Vine and Scott and Niagara. Great folks, great job. I go in there maybe a couple times a week. You never know what you're going to need, but whatever it is you need, you can find it there. I have rarely, I don't think I've ever gone into Grantham Home Hardware looking for something and not found it, depending on just about damn near anything. Great season though. They got I'm just flailing down here on their website. They got 1, 2, 3 different kinds of Adirondack chairs, 4 different kinds, depending on your price range, what kind of material you want, be it synthetic or be it wood or whatever. And they got a tent sale coming up here May 30th and May 31st. Cash and carry, clear out pricing, half prices and more. When it's gone, it's gone. And 31st, what is that, Sunday, Monday?
It's Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, who has a sale Sunday, Monday, Lee? Who has a sale Sunday, Monday? I know what's happened. But yeah, big tent sale there. You see the tents up, and the weather is going to cooperate as well.
It's going to be fabulous.
Feel bad for anybody that had an event last weekend.
Going to be fabulous. Our brand new sponsor,
skip it over Verge? We got to do Verge.
Oh no, we'll do Verge. Sure, we'll do Verge. Verge Insurance, Mark Shirk, Son Blake, and the rest of the staff. continuous and constant support from this organization. Their slogan is this: the dream will always be yours. We're here to protect it. They've been serving Niagara in the insurance world as brokers since 1953. Head office over here on Ontario Street, just across from the park. And they have an office in Niagara Falls as well.
And they like to have fun. They like to have fun.
There they are. There they are. How you doing? Thank you, Virgin Insurance, for supporting us. And now we'll concentrate on our brand new sponsor, Red E Bins. Now, if you want to go to their website and find out about all this stuff, it's Red E Bins Niagara. You got REDE Bins Niagara, all one word, all lowercase, .ca. All right? Niagara's easiest bin and dumpster rentals. Their pricing is all inclusive. There's going to be no surprises for you. They got fast delivery, all-weather service as well. You can get $50 off your first rental if you decide to give them a try and you need that kind of a service. And they've got the right size for any project. You see some of these massive things, you know, I could never, I need a bin, but I can't do that. Well, they've got all sizes to fit whatever space that you need. And anywhere you can park a small car, they can put a bin. And that's about as easy as it gets. Okay, Ready Bins Niagara. .ca, REDE binsniagara.ca. And thank you for joining us today for the first time as a sponsor of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. Hawthorne Avenue and Sunny Lee Drive in St. Catharines. I know that area well. A motor vehicle collision. A driver is fled. This was on May the 16th, this was posted. One vehicle has struck a fire hydrant. Some of the area is starting to flood. Some firefighters on scene are blocking the roads. Now, have a look at this. Have you ever wondered what's actually going on behind a fire hydrant or going on behind and beneath a fire hydrant? The amount of pressure, perhaps, that a fire hydrant keeps from floating out onto the street? Well, surmise no more. This is what it looks like. Oh my God. Now you know the kind of pressure that firefighters deal with when they hook those hoses up to a fire hydrant. This is what they're trying to control. This amazing flow of water. So, whoever the dude was that was in this car came across the road, came over the curb, smashed into the fire hydrant at a pretty good rate, one would think, when you look at the car. And you think to take a fire hydrant off its moorings has to be a pretty significant smash. And then they take off. So hopefully they weren't the owner of the car, because they'll be easy to trace. So was it a stolen car? Or was it just somebody that was hammered? They were drunk and they didn't want to be caught yet till they sobered up. One of those things is true. And one of them is not.
I can really relate with those two guys there standing watching.
Yeah.
You know, I would come out and watch, but you kind of sit there hands in pocket going, well,
I'm not getting involved in this.
Yeah, what could we possibly do here? We've got a car, the driver has fled. The car appears to be smoking there out of the hood, and the street's flooding.
Well, that's a busted radiator or something there for sure. Yeah, look at that. Now, Kevin, I wonder how much... I guess they would just have to, somebody, the emergency people, firefighters, whatever, would have to come and figure out a way to shut that valve off that's under there.
I would think so, yeah. And look what Ed has to say in the comments. I don't know Ed's background, but that flood wouldn't have happened if it was a McCavity hydrant from Clough, Canada. Just saying, check valve at the main.
Does this fellow own or work for Clough, Canada?
That's my guess. That is 100% my guess, but my assumption
sorry, go ahead.
Is that there's a better hydrant out there to prevent against situations like this.
I was going to say, that's an interesting comment, because what is the difference? I guess there must be difference in technology when it comes to hydrants.
A McCavity hydrant.
That flood wouldn't have happened if it was a McCavity hydrant. What is a McCavity
I'm assuming hydrant? That's the name of it.
If you know out there, by the way, this gives me an opportunity to mention that this show was originally, and is still actually, designed as an open line, open concept, open communication type program. It is live. It's not like Stephen Colbert where it was live on tape. And we're not getting canceled, and it's okay. But it is live, which means that you can, on the feed you're watching right now, click on the link that is in the feed. And if you want to come on and talk to us, and for example, if you would like to explain to us what a McCavity hydrant is, we would love to have you just click on the show and say, hey, I can tell you what that hydrant is. So click on the link, and you'll find yourselves in what we call our green room, which is our waiting room. It's a Zoom link. Kevin will acknowledge that you're there and make sure that we got you connected, and then we can have a conversation. That goes for anybody and everybody, you in particular that are watching this program, Ben or Janie or Elizabeth or Mike or whoever you are, is just click on the link. Come on into the green room, into the waiting area, and we don't have any munchies or drinks for you, but you can just kind of chill, and then Kevin will make sure you're connected, and we can have a conversation about whatever you would like, either whether it's what we're talking about or something you want to bring up. But I would really like to know what a McCavity hydrant is. And Ed, I'm assuming it's not Ed Harris, the actor. I'm assuming it's just Ed Harris of Niagara.
Well, don't you know that it's going to cost $1,500 to get Ed Harris?
It's going to cost us a lot more than that to get Ed Harris.
No, but this Ed Harris
wants
$15.
Ed Harris, $1,500. No, we do not pay for cameo appearances, gang. We're on a budget. But if you're from Cloud, Canada, or you know what the hell a McCavity hydrant is. But anyway, that's an amazing lot of water. I wonder what that cost the city. I wonder what that, man. Whose water meter is running on that? It's the city's water meter, I guess. Crazy.
Now, Lee, we also had something in the water this week, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
As, I don't know if they're boat enthusiasts, there's train enthusiasts, but these guys were all out looking at this SS Cleveland or something like that, USS Cleveland.
Yeah, it came in to the Welland Canal. The USS Cleveland, is it a battleship? It looks kind of like a
I would
battleship.
say. That's battleshipy to me.
It's some sort of military-looking vehicle. The USS Cleveland came into the canal through port, which is how people enter the Welland Canal from Lake Erie, and came through the canal. I was driving along the Canal Parkway. There it is. There's another view. It's a pretty sizable ship, but I mean it's not a huge battleship. It's not like the SS Nimitz or anything like that. I mean it's a pretty conservative-looking military-style ship, the USS Cleveland.
I don't know. Take a look at this. One of the commenters linked to her video.
And it's not powering itself. It's obviously being towed by that tug. There are quite a number of people in the front, but that's a cool ship.
That is.
I don't see guns though, Kev. How can it be a battleship? I don't see guns.
That's a good point.
There's no turrets.
No, you're right. That's a good point.
It's a cruiser of some sort.
I just think whenever I see a military ship that, obviously it's some sort of a destroyer, an attacker. Yeah. Remember, Lee, it's the Department of War, not the Department of Defense.
Oh, that's right. Mr. Hegseth, Department.
Well, there we go. We got some enthusiasts there taking a picture of this USS Cleveland.
There ain't no guns on there, man.
Well, I think you're right.
It's a something, but I don't know what kind of a something. I was going to mention, I was driving along the Welland Canal Parkway, as they call it now, the other day, and I hadn't seen it. I mean, I've seen the odd pleasure craft go through the locks and through the canal over my years in Niagara, but I haven't seen as many as I saw the other day. There were at least 4 massive, like I'm talking royal family style yachts going through the canal, heading toward Lake Erie through the locks. And then a bunch of smaller boats. I don't know whether it was some sort of regatta or flotilla that were traveling together, but I don't think I've seen that many private pleasure-style craft going up the canal in years, and never at the same time. It was, I guess I should have researched it a little bit, but it was quite the sight to see that many pleasure craft in the Welland Canal. And this one, I wonder why it's not under its own power. I mean, we've got these massive steel and ore ships that go through the Welland Canal, and they they navigate it. That's me. Sorry. They navigate it on their own. But why isn't somebody piloting this from the bridge?
You're right, because those giant ships move through very tight quarters. Very tight quarters. Usually that's what tugs are for, right? Either moving the ship perpendicular or getting them through tight quarters, getting them into a dock. And I'm not sure what was going on
the
here.
Panama Canal. I've seen the Panama Canal once. Imagine the Welland Canal to the power of 10. I mean, it's massively wide. And what they have is they have them. They call them the robots or something like that. And the ships, when they go through the Panama Canal, they're not under their own power at all. There are train tracks that run on either side of whatever canal, whatever passageway they're going, because it goes both ways there, and they're super wide. And these robotic things are attached to chains on either side of the ship, and they go down tracks and take the ship with them all through the Panama Canal. It's all an automated. It's phenomenal to watch, but not at all how they operate the Welland Canal. But that's weird. That would be cool to talk to somebody about that ship. A, what kind of a ship is it? And B, why wasn't it piloting itself? That's kind of cool. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Where do you want to go here, Lee? There's the e-bike crash on Thorold Stone Road. That's always a dangerous intersection. It's not really an intersection. It's just a dangerous turn.
What about this?
The Utes?
The Utes. What about this story about the... Did you read that story about the dude that says he got an air tag?
Yeah, that was thrown
into the bed of his truck.
I'm not quite sure what the scam is.
I don't even know if it's a real story. But it's one of those things that showed up on Facebook, on 411, and it came up like this, as often happens. Hi, Nick, by the way, of Niagara 411. Glad to have you as usual. Nick's mom, thanks for watching. We know you're out there. We have faith. Thank you. Still trying to kind of wrap my head around this one. This past Saturday, my girlfriend and my dog were in my truck when I ran into Staples, okay? This is in Niagara Falls, to drop off some Amazon returns. Is there anything easier than dropping an Amazon return off to Staples? Could anything get easier than that? That's amazing. That's another story. Okay, and she told me that she'd heard a thud or a clink noise in the bed of my truck. She thought the car passing had hit my truck, so she got out to see that nothing was there. When she heard the tink sound, she looked up and saw maybe? It was a white SUV with an Indian-looking man driving. He quickly ducked and rolled up his window and took off fast. Today, Sunday the 24th, at 9 at night, we got home from a day out and we both got notifications on our phones at the same time that an AirTag had been located near us. We used the play sound button to locate it. It was wrapped in a Timmy's paper bag in the bed of my truck. We have screenshots of when it was activated and the serial number to the AirTag. 4:10 p.m. I was in Staples, Saturday, May 23rd. 4:37 p.m. is when the AirTag was first notifying me that it was tracking. We've notified authorities and they will be coming shortly to take a statement. I just wanted to let you know to maybe make a post and be wary of AirTags being placed in that general area. That's now one of the strangest things that has come to pass, and I'm not totally discounting it. I mean, who could make that up, really? And then there are the comments. What is the point of someone dropping an AirTag in a random vehicle?
I think that's the first question.
I share that inquiry. Good point. What is the point? All right. This person says human trafficking. They saw a woman left alone. Likely would watch to see when she's alone again or watch. Boy, that's a stretch, isn't it? Could that be true?
I don't know.
Could also, okay.
So many reasons. Now, here, Lee, I'll throw up here what I just Googled AirTag in bed of truck scam.
Okay, and here's what Kevin got. Thieves and stalkers use hidden Apple AirTags on vehicles to monitor movement, learn your daily routine, or locate where your truck is parked overnight to steal it. In some cases, they may also be placed by malicious actors tracking cargo or for illicit trafficking across borders, I guess.
Yeah, now look what Leona says. And I mean, Leona's a local.
My husband's vehicle was stolen out of our own driveway, and yes, an AirTag was found. We also have AirTags, so quickly located it. Wow. How do you know how to live these days and be safe? My God.
It's brutal. You just try and reach out to Johnny Harris, and next thing you know, you're being scammed. Now, Lee, today on Niagara 411, through the NRP, this was a giant bust of, what was this, Project Jack Links, I think they called it? Yeah, Project Jack Links.
That's what I'm told it was called, is Project Jack
Links. Nick only posted this morning, which means NRP only released it in the last probably 5 to 10 hours. But this is sophisticated ring of theft of vehicles, and a lot of it right here in Niagara.
Yeah, and there's an interesting caveat to this story too, but we'll walk you through it. Now, just so that you know why we read these things, is we also do this as a video excluded podcast. So if people are actually listening to this show and not seeing what's on the screen, that's why we read this for you as well. In April 2025, the NRPS launched a criminal investigation following the theft of a single Lexus SUV. What initially appeared to be an isolated incident quickly evolved into a complex investigation into organized auto theft networks operating across southern Ontario. Since November 25, NRPS detectives have investigated more than 50 thefts and attempted thefts involving newer model Lexus and Toyota vehicles within the Niagara region, with an estimated loss exceeding $20 million across southern Ontario. In response to the growing trend, investigators launched Project Jack Links in December 2025, no relation to Kevin Jack, targeting organized criminal groups involved in the theft and trafficking of high-end vehicles throughout the region.
Yeah, this next paragraph kind of skipped that, and then different partner agencies, collaborative efforts. But here we go. Here it gets back into the meat.
Yeah, here's where it gets interesting. The NRPS has determined that the individuals charged are believed to be responsible for more than 112 motor vehicle theft-related occurrences. While the majority of these incidents occurred within the Niagara region, the investigation also identified related thefts across several communities.
That's insane, Lee. 112 thefts, with the majority of them here in Niagara. So if you had a Toyota or Lexus stolen in the last
chances
year,
are it was this group.
So here, it kind of picks up again on January.
Yeah. So now they're starting to get a bit into the thick of it. In January 26, two 17-year-old male youths from St. Catharines were arrested and charged in connection with a series of motor vehicle theft investigations. In accordance with the Youth Criminal Justice Act, otherwise known as the YCGA, of course we all know that, the identities of the youths cannot be released. Collectively, the accused were charged with 11 counts.
And here they go, and then
there's all the counts and all.
On April, detectives, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. So look, residents of Hamilton. As a result, here you go, an 18-year-old.
An 18-year-old Nemer Alawad, or Johnny Alphabet, and 23-year-old Farouk Alawad.
Okay, so those guys are busted.
Yeah, they're busted.
Okay, those guys are busted, all kinds of stuff. And here we go, and look, as a result
of the coordinated enforcement action, 5 male youths between the ages of 16 and 17 were arrested in accordance with the act. Now, are you starting to spot a theme here?
Yes, this is crazy.
These people are not of adult lineage. They are youths. They are juvenile offenders. Now, I don't know about that 18-year-old. He might have been lying about his age. And this 20-year-old. But a lot of these people are juveniles. Investigators have also identified additional suspects believed to be connected to the organized auto theft network. As a result of the ongoing investigation, warrants have been issued for the following individuals. And then they go down this 20-year-old dude.
Yeah, 2 counts of 20-year-old,
Yeah.
All this other stuff.
And
think to more than 100 additional vehicles.
Let me read this.
Oh, Kevin, sorry.
Go back. Go back. Project Jack links highlights the growing impact organized auto theft networks are having on communities not only across Ontario but across Canada, said Chief of Police Bill Forty. What started as the theft of a single vehicle quickly uncovered a much larger and highly coordinated criminal operation spanning several jurisdictions. I know Chief Forty. Bill's a good guy and runs a tight operation there. I want to recognize the exceptional work of our investigators, and et cetera. So much like the jewelry store smash and grabs that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, including when we interviewed the owner-operator of Carrot Jewelers here at Fairview Mall in St. Catharines, these organized crime networks are hearkening back almost to the Dickensian days of Tale of Two Cities, or whatever, where sophisticated criminal organizations run gangs of juvenile delinquents to commit crimes, knowing the fact that they will receive low or reduced sentences because of their age. They're not as criminally punishable, if you will, for their crimes as someone that's classified as an adult. Now, we got that 20-year-old and the 18-year-old, and some don't fall into that category. But Kevin, it still seems to me that these syndicate organizers and operators are targeting young people that are down on their luck or trying to make a buck or living on the street, paying them a pittance on the dollar for whatever it is they steal, and they're not traceable by investigators.
Yeah, for the life of me, I can't figure out how a 16 or 17-year-old could figure out the mechanisms of stealing a Lexus or Toyota in Niagara, getting it prepared to ship into Western Africa, as they allege. I don't know how somebody puts that together. So you're right. They must be hiring all these children that are under 18 because they know that basically there's no consequence.
And somebody that's running this organization knows enough about the Toyota brand, because Lexus is a Toyota brand. So somebody knows enough about the manufacturing protocols of the Toyota Motor Company that they know what, because all those vehicles are going to have the same kind of security protocols, right? So I don't think we have seen the end of juvenile gangs running rampant in whatever category, be it jewelry, be it cars, whatever. Friends of Shorthill's Park is a community-based organization dedicated to preserving the cultural and natural integrity of Shorthill's Provincial Park through liaison with Ontario Parks, volunteer work, public education, and fundraising activities. Want to bring on to the program right now Brad Demers. We have chatted with Brad before in relation to these initiatives. How are you today, pal?
Hey, Lee. Nice to see you again.
Yeah.
And Kevin.
Always great to see you, Brad. And how are things going? I mean, Shorthills has had quite a history here in Niagara, and most of it positive, but I know that over the years when we've been in other media environments, they've talked about the Shorthills deer cull and all the bow and arrow hunts and all this. So there's been a little bit of controversy there as well. How is the Shorthills organization doing these days? How are things?
I think I want to be positive. I think it's doing well.
Yep.
I would say environmentally, the climate has maybe impacted things a bit. We're getting a lot of erosion in the park from the heavy rains that we're getting in particular. But for the most part, I think it's doing fairly well.
Glad to hear it. And yeah, these rains have been decimating to certain pieces of property. I mentioned golf courses earlier, and I realize that's not a massive environmental issue, except for the people that run the business. But in a park like in a place like Shorthills, how do these heavy rainfall incidents impact the environment in a place like Shorthills?
Well, as far as people that are in there hiking, the heavy water does damage the trails quite a bit. A lot of the trails in the park are clay base, so especially in the spring, they get just absolutely drenched, and then they turn to mud. And then what ends up happening is that if we have a lot of hikers coming in, they walk around the big puddles of mud trying to avoid them. And then what that ends up doing is it widens the trail, which isn't always good. And it also leads to things like trail braiding, where people make their own little paths.
Yeah.
So so that can be damaging to the park itself. And also just a bunch of the trails have like a gravel base, a large stone, and it's just getting washed away. Like, for instance, I was in there this weekend on the Black Walnut Trail, and there was quite a bit of erosion on the trail right at the beginning.
Now, will you have to re-top those, re-gravel those?
So that's something that the Friends of Shorthills Park helps with in the past. And then, of course, Ontario Parks does most of the work and funds most of it. But that's one of the things that we try to do.
Brad, how does it impact the flora and fauna, like the trees, the ground cover, and the animals, the wildlife that inhabit the park?
I think for the most part, they're pretty resilient. They'll adapt. Every spring, the little creeks in the park run pretty heavily, and then as you get further along into summer, those dry up, and those just provide different opportunities for animals to, take advantage. Like, frogs earlier on in the season, they want shallow water pools, ephemeral pools, and then when it dries up, it provides other opportunities.
Well, we have prognosticated, at least here, that's my big word of the week, prognosticated, some sunny, warm, dry weather for the rest of this week and over the weekend. I'm assuming that's going to go a long way to mitigating the damages done by the water. It'll dry up pretty fast, especially if we get a little bit of wind. So that's good news. Tell us about the Firefly walks that you got coming up.
Yeah, happy to do so. So every June, the Fireflies in the park become fairly active. Obviously, they're active more at night, and there are concentrations of fireflies in a couple of different areas in the park. So the Firefly walk is, we get a bunch of people from one of the parking lots, and I know of a couple good places for the fireflies. So we just walk down there, and then people get to experience, hundreds and not thousands of fireflies all lighting up. It's really a magical night, and it's you have to see it for yourself. I have no other way of describing it. Photos don't do it justice.
No, we have the photos up, but you're right. Photos of anything don't really relay the experience that you can have in real time. I'm sorry, remind us when this is happening and all the details again.
I have a bunch of walks. The first one I believe is scheduled for June 14th, and then the 18th is the next one. It's a little bit tentative because it really depends on when the fireflies are active. Right. Last year, May was pretty cool, and the fireflies were active later on in June. And this year, I'm anticipating the same thing. So
is this on a website, Brad?
Yeah, so you can go to the Friends of Shorthills Park. They'll have a link there to register, and also I can drop one in the chat, and then people can register that.
Okay. Did you say Friends of Shorthills Park?
Yeah, our website. The easiest way is to go on Facebook and go to just look up Friends of Shorthills Park.
Yeah, you just said it so fast. I wanted to make sure that.
Sorry.
That's okay. Now, let me ask you what is ostensibly a stupid question, but my mama told me there's no such thing. But I'm going to ask it anyway. What is a firefly?
Well, technically they're not flies, they're beetles. So the beetles are actually one of the most successful animal groups on the planet. There are more kinds of beetles than any other kind. And fireflies are just one of those amazing groups that they can light up. There are other beetles as well that can light up, but the fireflies are the most famous.
Why do they light up, and what are they doing out there at night, flying around with their buddies?
I'm glad that you asked, because the majority of the reasons why fireflies light up is to attract a mate. Although what's pretty cool is that one of the fireflies pictures that I provided, some of the fireflies, the females actually imitate the light of other fireflies. So they try to lure the male fireflies to them, and then they eat them. So they can use their light
just
to
like humans.
Come on. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What is so tasty about a male firefly?
I'm gonna guess it's an acquired taste, like black coffee.
Well, do they mate first and then eat them?
No, they are actually, it's a different species. So the female of the Photinus will attract a male from like a Caractamina genus. Yeah, there's no mating going on before the male.
It's a tribal thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay, we're going to eat all your guys, and you're going to try to eat our guys, and pretty soon we'll be all chicks hanging out, lighting up. Wow.
Yeah. So go ahead, Lisa.
So a firefly is not a fly. It's a beetle.
Yeah, that's right.
And they come out at night because that's the only time you can see them, because that's when they glow, and it would be pointless to come out at noon.
Yeah, well, they won't glow during the day. You can still see them, though. They're actually pretty visible as far as beetles go. Some of them tend to be a bit larger, like a couple of centimeters, and they're mostly black. So they tend to stand out when they're out, like flying around.
The only time I've seen fireflies in person is when we used to go cottaging in the Muskokas, and we'd be sitting in the screened-in porch or whatever, playing cards or games or whatever, and outside in the dark, every now and then you'd see 3 or 4 like flashes, and it was so cool. But I'm glad I asked you, because I've never actually asked anybody what the hell a firefly really is. So it's actually a beetle.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Wow. And is Shorthill's, is there a particular reason that Shorthill's has such a prevalent population of them?
I think the reason why is because Shorthill's has got a really good mix of different habitats. So you've got forest, and you've got meadow, and then you've also got stream. And there's fireflies that like all those different, they specifically like those habitats.
Cool.
So some of them prefer the forests, some of them prefer the streams. And when you've got them all together in one spot, then you get like a confluence of the different species in one area.
Every time we talk to you, we learn something. Brad Demers, thank you so much. Good luck with the Firefly Walks. It's Friends of Shorthills. Google it and you'll find them, and you'll find out when the Firefly Walks are going on, because that would be, I mean, I've just seen a few of them, as I mentioned, at once, but to see that many at once, it'd be exciting. And by that time, we should have a bit of a drier walk, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's the hope anyway.
Okay,
Thanks
man.
a lot, Lee.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, great having me. Thanks.
Cheers. Interesting, Kevin.
I had no idea the firefly was a beetle.
I did not. See what you learned by me asking questions?
Yeah, thank you, Lee.
It's amazing.
I am forever indebted.
You're more than welcome, Kevin.
That's why we do this show, really. Easy way for me to learn. Just easy way for me to get ahead in life.
Actually, before we, what you're seeing on the screen is a cue for me to go to our musical guest to play us off the stage. But before we do that, Kevin, don't take yourself off the screen there. I want to acknowledge WeeStreem, Canada's premier streaming service. Anything going on that we should know about?
Oh gosh, yes. Tomorrow we are going to be. I mean, these are not things that interest anyone, but we're going to be at Michelangelo's in Stony Creek for a national industry awards banquet. So doing that. Next week we're going to be helping out Chris Dabrowski and some of the people at EduCon on Thursday.
See? EduCon. We've talked about that. That's really
you know what? Maybe we'll have Chris on our next show, because Lee, we're doing a show next week.
Yes,
we're doing a show 1 week from today. So quick turnaround on that, and we'll see if we can talk a little more about EduCon and some of the other events.
Yeah, glad you brought that up, and we'll highlight that again, because normally we do this show every 2 weeks, but because I have decided to take a little bit of time off and travel a bit, we're going to be here, as Kevin said, 1 week from today, not 2 weeks from today. And hope you can join us for that here at Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. Thank you, Grantham Home Hardware, Virgin Insurance, Ready Bins, Niagara, our newest sponsor. And again, Kevin, always a pleasure to work with you. You're the best. To play us, and thank you, Fiddler's Poorhouse, here at 149 St. Paul Street, for allowing us to get in your way every week or two here to do this program. To play us off the stage is a band called Feverish Lemons, and it's a tune called Life in the Dark. Thanks for being here. We'll catch you in a week. Cheers.